Hi, and welcome to the Beyond Files.
Ready to question reality? You're in the right place.
Let's dive in.
It's always the zoom ups that get me.
Well, you have to have the zoom ups, otherwise you don't see the ghost properly. The next photos we're going to show you are some viewer submissions. This one is coming in from Roy Glenn Robinson. Roy submitted this photo after a gig he performed in 2018. He was walking on Ocean Beach Pier in San Diego after 2 a.m. As he walked back to the beginning of the pier, he turned and just took the photo. He noted that when he was walking, there was nobody there originally. And the pier is about a quarter-mile long. But if you look really close, you'll see an eerie shadow of someone standing on that pier.
That is creepy.
It is.
But thank you so much for sharing your strange and unusual content with us.
Thanks, Roy. And if you guys want to share your strange and unusual content, you can always send us an email at tothespiritpod@gmail.com or get a hold of us in our socials and we'll be sure to feature it on the show. This next photo comes from me. I used to work with a guy who had a sister and she used to feel something strange in the house. One time she took a photo. This was back in like 2006, 2007, with one of those old NV phones. Do you remember the NV phones? They had little keyboards lit up.
I love those phones,
Yeah.
like the Rumor.
Yeah.
And you had
a little keyboard if you push the phone up.
I miss the keyboards.
Yeah. So they took the photo with that. And I submitted this photo for a contest because they allowed me to use it. And I had the honor of speaking with the famous Art Bell. For you older folks who know who he is, I'm sure the younger, you don't know who Art Bell is, do you?
No.
He's like the godfather of paranormal radio. Godfather of paranormal radio. This is the photo I submitted.
Now that is a creepy, Grim Reaper looking entity.
Yeah, and if you look really close, there's a smaller entity next to it.
Oh.
And she had a reading done by a medium and said that's actually a babushka. And she's actually holding an infant in her arms.
Oh.
And there's a smaller entity they believe to be like a husband or something next to her or a child. Super creepy to see that in the threshold of your kitchen.
Is a babushka a grandmother?
I think so. Yeah. Babushka.
Babushka.
Creepy real photos that keep me up at night part 3. This photo was posted to Reddit with the caption, "Can you identify what this face-like image could be? Photo taken by a family friend." I'm sorry? Pete says this photo was taken in the summertime, not Halloween, so it probably is not a Halloween decoration. Several Reddit users analyzed the photo and they said based on the shadows and the colors, it doesn't appear to be photoshopped, but what do you think? Follow for more creepy real photos.
I have single-handedly ruined my night by looking at these ghost pictures, so let me go ahead and ruin your night as well. Because this is what friends do. Before I even saw the ghost, I already saw the crime here. And that's not having a door or a curtain in that closet. This person kind of brought this onto themselves, because look what's peeking out from the closet. And of course, it's never enough to just look at the picture as it is. We have to zoom in. Forget the door, just wall that whole thing completely. I mean, at least I guess the kid dressed up to scare the shit out of you. I saw this picture and was kind of like, what's the big deal? It kind of looks like a reflection from the headlights. But then as you look closer, yeah, that's definitely a face. It's giving Christopher Walken. Played around with the contrast and zoomed in, and yeah, that is definitely a ghost or Christopher Walken. Which is scarier? Yeah, so I'm calling the police on this picture. So this picture was supposed to be cute. It was supposed to be 3 kids having fun, peering over the fence, and then there's a face that's like, nah. I debated whether or not to zoom in. I zoomed in, and it's always a mistake. If your kids have imaginary friends, this picture is going to convince you to tell that friend to go home immediately. And by home, I mean hell. This was taken at a McDonald's. They thought their daughter was alone at the playground at the time. The face on the left was not visible at the time they took this. And when she was asked who was next to her in the picture, she replied, "That's my imaginary friend, Beto." You bet yo ass I'm gonna sage my house after seeing this shit. No. And you know I always save the best for last. I'm covering it with my head because I didn't want to jump scare you guys. This was taken at a family function. They said their uncle doesn't know anything about Photoshop. If he did, he would not change a photo. It was important to the family. They swear this is an original photo. And it's funny because they say zoom in on the red colored circle. There's no need to zoom in. There's no need to zoom in. Are these actual ghosts, or am I just sleep-deprived and dramatic? Tell me in the comments. I'm gonna go take a bath in some holy water now.
No,
Yikes.
I don't like it.
Why do they look so distorted and strange? Why can't they just look like a normal person, but just translucent?
Do you think mediums see him like that, or it's just the camera captures it all strange?
That's a good question. If that's what mediums see, then I don't want it.
Amy Allen from Dead Files. She saw some crazy shit.
Okay, y'all. So while my mom is preparing to answer y'all questions, let me tell y'all about part 3 of being sent to a client's home care health haunted house. Okay, so I ended up being sent out to Whitmore Lake. Whitmore Lake is this really small town surrounded by a body of water. So before I got sent out there, the owner was like, "Hey, Jamara, make sure you get your food and snacks and whatever before you go there, because it's really not many places to DoorDash and you can't see." Like, they knew I had glasses. They're like, "You can't see." They're like, "So just make sure you do that." So I was prepared. I had everything ready. First thing I noticed when I drove out there is they don't have any street lights. I did not like that. So that was strike 1. Strike 2 is I pull up in the driveway of the woman's home, and she didn't have any blinds or shutters. It was a glass house, meaning you could just look like straight into everywhere, everything. Somebody can see everything that you're doing. No, there needs to be some damn shutters, some blinds, something. And what was even creepier is she lived right on the lake. So if you look out her kitchen window, and then mind you, the kitchen window is not small. It's a huge window. Okay, and then the sliding doors are right there too, so all you can see is right there. You stand right there out at the lake and there's no light out there. Like, what? So anyway, I'm getting a report from the man that I'm relieving, and when I'm getting this report, he gave me the rundown of everything, like, "Hey, I cooked the food already. Oh, and by the way, she says really weird things." I was like, "Weird? Like how? Like, what did she say?" And I think he was just trying to hurry up and get out of there. He was just like, "Oh, just weird stuff, nothing, And then he was just like, "But I'll see you in the morning." So he hurried up and skedaddled. And so I'm sitting there, and I plated her food, and she wanted to watch TV before she went to bed. So we're watching TV while she's eating, and she creeped me out because then I heard, like, she whispering up under her breath. And I was like, "You good?" She was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So I shifted my body because, baby, now I'm scared. And so then she told me, she's like, "I'm ready to go to bed now." But she said it with such a blank face. There was zero emotion when she said that. She was like, "I'm ready to go to bed now." I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Let's get you ready." Take her in the back. She's getting ready. I finally lay her down, and when I was laying her down, I noticed that it felt like somebody was standing right behind me. So I hurried up and turned. Nobody back there, but I know somebody back there because I ain't just feeling that for no reason. So I went ahead, completed my task of getting Miss Lady in the bed, and she asked me if I could put a pillow behind her back. While I was putting the pillow behind her back, somebody taps like this. So of course I'm like, oh shit. So I'm scared. I'm really scared because I don't like that there are no lights out there for me to see, and other people can see and hear because the lights are on, but I can't see out there. I didn't like that. So then I start hearing static on her baby monitor. Okay, there was a baby monitor in the kitchen, in the living room, and in her bedroom. So I heard static, and it sounded like people whispering. So, of course, I'm like, we the only ones here. I know what that means. So finally, before I walked away, she grabbed my arm, and she was like, tell him I don't want no visitors tonight. I was like, yes, ma'am, you won't have any visitors tonight. She was like, okay. She kept just saying that. So then she finally rolled over and laid down. Yeah, when I went to the living room, I saw someone out the corner of my eye. But they stayed right there. Didn't pass by me at all. Just stayed in the corner of my eye. And so I started praying immediately. As soon as I started praying, the kitchen table started shaking. And by shaking, I mean that they was shaking that I'm not even playing. They was shaking the heck out of that table. So I went in the living room area. Now, mind you, the living room and the kitchen area, they pretty much shared one another. This is a ranch style house. Okay, there's no upstairs or downstairs. Doesn't even have a basement. And so once I get to the living room, I notice that there are eyes outside of the glass. I don't see a face, but I see eyes. And so immediately, what's your first thing if you see somebody outside of a glass? You trying to close the blinds. I go up to the window and I'm like, damn, this bitch ain't got no blinds. Like, I was pissed. Okay, I'm terrified at this point because there's eyes out there. And I was like, oh my God. And so the door, this is the sliding door that the eyes are at. So the door starts doing this, jerking. I ended up going back there to sit with the lady because I'm not about to be out here by myself. So I just sat in this chair that was in her room. And when I was sitting in that chair, this was walking down the hall, stopped in her doorway, and then just disappeared. Once that happened, I knew that she probably was talking about them, that she didn't want no visitors today. So about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, she had to use the bathroom. So I got her up to use the bathroom. And when I got her up, she was walking with a limp at first, like when I first laid her down. Like when I first got there to lay her down in the bed. This time she didn't have a limp. I was like, was you faking it? So as I'm walking her to the bathroom, she turned around and the white of her eyes were black. And I immediately was like, Father God, in the name of Jesus. And I just started praying. And she was like, I'm a visitor. Now, mind you, remember the very first time she was emotionless when she told me she wanted to go to bed. This entire time, she hasn't shown any emotion. But then as soon as she goes to the bathroom, she's showing emotion, talking about I'm a visitor. Smiling. I was over it. I said, okay, we're going to take you to this bathroom. I said, we're going to get you back in this bed. Y'all, soon as 7 o'clock rolled around, 7 a.m., I couldn't wait until that man rode up in there. But he was late. He had texted the owner to let me know that he was going to be a couple hours late. So I had to stay until 9 a.m. with that weird madness. So I'm cooking her breakfast. And as I'm cooking her breakfast, I hear the sliding door opens. So I looked over. She's sitting down at the kitchen table. She hasn't moved a muscle. But the sliding door opened by itself. So you just been waiting out there until the morning to come up in here. So then she started talking. And it wasn't to herself because she's glaring across the table like somebody's sitting there. And she was just like, good to see you. I was like, yeah, he gonna have to hurry up, baby, because I'm not staying here no longer. Y'all, didn't they have the nerve to me? We can't find nobody else to replace you, so you're gonna have to stay there. How much you want to bet I'm not? How much you want to bet that I'm not coming back tonight? So as soon as that man came walking in, I told him, I said, I don't know who coming to relieve you tonight, but it won't be me, boo.
I think she's telling the truth.
But I want to know, who's the visitor?
Who is the visitor?
Yeah.
And how are they able to like open the door and come in and out?
Tell you, living on a lake, living near the water, a lot of energy, a lot of spirits passing through.
And her eyes turning black.
That's weird.
You just never think home care to be creepy like that.
I do.
Ooh.
I do.
Creepy real photos that keep me up at night, part 2. This photo was taken at Hampton Court Palace, which is the former residence of King Henry VIII, and it's supposedly haunted by his 5th wife, Catherine. 2 girls were visiting the palace with their parents. One is seen right here, and the other was taking the photo. They leave and are looking back through their photos, and this one came out normal, but take a look at the photo taken just seconds before this one. What is that? Genuinely, what is that? I could look at this photo forever and still not know what's going on. Follow for more creepy real photos.
What is that?
Like, is it a wraith or something of a
It's very tall.
royalty that died an unsettling death? Ones that wore the big wigs or something, and now they're like a wraith
I wouldn't
ghost?
want to see the face. I just know that. I'm glad it's the side profile shot or back shot there.
Yeah,
Whoa.
creepy.
I just don't know, TikTok. I hate to say I'm scared to go home, but everything's just been so daggone weird. I don't know, I guess I just didn't get much sleep last night. What the? I mean, there's nobody home. She's not home, she's at her mom's. Hello? Somebody up there? If you're up there, you better announce your damn self.
I didn't hear anything, did you?
No.
Did you guys hear anything? I didn't hear a voice, but maybe I need to play it louder.
I've been following this guy, and I am interested in the things he found and the journey that's kind of been happening along the way. Go watch him. Tell me if you think that he's legitimate or if he's just putting on a show.
We're going to play another one by him, and we'll see what you think. Is he fake? I don't know.
He is entertaining.
Alright, for any of y'all who don't believe that this is real, then I'm just making it up. I'm about to prove it to you. Shit. All right. There's nothing up here. There's nothing up here. I told you.
I didn't see a cut in the film, so I don't know. If he's faking it, he's doing an awesome job.
Yeah. Would you guys go up there, though, if you saw that rattling?
I'm a punk. I'm not climbing up into the attic.
I mean, if anything, I would think it's some wild raccoon that was just going to jump
Right.
at my face.
Or a crazy person.
Yeah.
Do not ask me to explain this because I can't, but that looks like a xenomorph.
We're seeing a trend here, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
She's super scary.
Something ain't right.
I don't even know who that is. That's crazy. That's Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart is 83 years old. Do you think The Substance was a documentary? Look at how not just beautiful she is, she's hot.
And I must say, of all the mommies that I've been with, you the finest.
Here's a clip of me and Martha on her show. This was 18 years ago.
Please welcome Jamie Kennedy.
That's not the same woman. I mean, she looks amazing, but there's something going on in the town, and people are getting younger and younger. Something's going on.
Yo, when I saw Martha Stewart recently, I was like, who is this?
Martha Stewart looks better than I do at 83.
It's unreal.
Would you take whatever they're taking?
The Substance.
Right?
Y'all, what the fuck is going on with Cynthia Erivo hands? This video I'm gonna show y'all, she was on stage singing, and her hands was twice the size of this. It looked like Shaquille O'Neal hands, but skinny as hell. Her hands was real live on some wicked shit. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Her hands remind me of the shorty that was in the crowd when The Weeknd was doing this little song, and she had them long ass fingers. That's what hers remind me of. Look at this shit. Look at her hands, y'all. And it look like it's growing. Am I tripping? I understand she got on nails, but look out how long her fingers is, y'all. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. So y'all just seen what I seen. Her hands is way longer on that video than right here on this picture. And I swear, watch the joint over. Watch this video over. You're going to see her hands. It looked like it was growing, y'all. This shit is crazy, fool. Now all them interviews when she was talking crazy is kind of making sense. She might be...
I know she's got the long nails and all,
fingers.
but
That's pretty exaggerated.
she looks extremely different too.
Skinny? I don't know what's going on.
Ever since she did the Wicked movie,
Mm-hmm.
her and Ari, they just haven't been the same.
Mm-mm.
Did y'all see what Justin just posted while this diddler trial's going on? It's literally him eating a piece of pizza. And it's gonna get a lot weirder in 1 second. And watch how subtle this is. He literally put bright red on the color scheme right after while eating the pizza. Let's get a little bit weirder. He posted this of him dancing to a song called Fairy, which I found was really, really odd. It almost seems as if Fairy is code for something. I can't play the song because copyright, but it does suck. So bad to the point it's like, why would he even play it? I wonder if there's any connection with the fact that he was eating pizza and the fact that he's getting so old while incarcerated. But it's not just him. Have you seen Ellen recently? Pretty wild, right? What is going on with these rapidly aging celebrities? They used to be in show business and now they're not. By the way, there's this one too, but I kind of think that this one's been edited. And this may be real. And to show you how everything connects, did you see this? Blank Club, you know the guy who's in charge of the world? Pew Pewer, who claimed he was Diddler's something, S-E-X-S-L-A-D. That the Pew Pewer was hired by the music mogul? There's no way all this stuff is just by accident random. That's right, just keep watching The Gatekeeper. Because they don't want you to see what else is going on.
Isn't it interesting when an extreme narcissist doesn't get their supply, what it does to them? Diddy is so visibly
Older.
Depleted because he's not getting that source anymore that he's been feeding off for years.
And was that really Ellen, do you think? Was that Ellen with an airbrush filter? Because if that's her, then she's definitely not getting her supply.
Right.
I didn't believe it because have you seen how certain streaming shows edit certain parts out?
They did that for The Passion on Netflix.
Yeah.
What did they take out?
They took out the verse from Isaiah at the beginning.
And I saw that. And I saw this one. I said, there's no way. Because in Robin Hood, the one with Russell Crowe, the very first thing, there's a scroll that pops up, and in bold lettering, it says, in times of tyranny and injustice, when law oppresses the people, the outlaw takes his place in history.
And it came out of Netflix.
Only in the U.S. Canada, Ireland, people are from Britain. They're like, it's on ours.
We're getting so played,
in
guys.
America, and I just played it, and it doesn't.
We're getting so played.
It literally is just a blank screen for 10 seconds.
Everybody go buy a bow.
I mean, you talk about physical copies of things. They are erasing history, and I know it's just a dumb movie.
No,
But
but
if you think they're doing it with a movie,
Yeah.
they're doing it on such bigger levels.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes no time.
Exactly.
When digital comes through, it's like it takes no time for them.
Control.
Mm-hmm. Don't want to put any ideas in anybody's heads or anything like that.
Don't want us to remember that we're free sovereign beings. Thanks for tuning in and watching our wild, crazy videos. If you like what you see, please hit the like, the subscribe, and the little bell icon. That way you can be notified every time we drop a new video.
Unhinged witchy hacks. Tell the trees what they did. Nature will avenge you.
So you tell the trees what the person that you're upset with did?
If someone has wronged you and you think that the universe needs to make it right, you can tell the trees what they did.
Well, the way I'll be sitting in my backyard just talking to my trees.
Never make fun of your stuff that you own, whether it's car, appliances, house, clothes, plants, etc., because they have their own spirit energy that will get offended and start breaking down and turning on you. I like this along with just kind of saying things as I wish them to be, of like, I have the best, most reliable car, and I'm so grateful for after almost 10 years, she still runs beautifully. Thank you very much. Not like, this piece of crap might die at any time, because what if it can hear you? My mom told me this, and it works 99% of the time. If you can't find something, get a glass cup and turn it upside down and leave it somewhere like your counter. You will then find what you're looking for.
Ooh, I wonder what the witchy logic behind that is.
I don't know the motive. It's just someone's mom told him to do it.
This makes sense to me because people that I know that focus on such negative things, you just notice that those people, it's one thing after another, and then they literally create their own spells around them that everything goes wrong and this breaks, that breaks, and it's just a continuing cycle, and you can't really break them out of it either. Sadly.
Everything has energy, right?
Yeah.
And if you're pushing positive things into that energy, like I always do, I name my car and I say, thank you. Thanks for getting me from A to B and not breaking down. I really appreciate you. Let's keep going. Let's do it.
If you notice, all the trees start growing branches at the bottom now, and now the leaves are really small. The reason it's like that is because of this. If you don't get all the sun rays, the tree does anything it could. It's called stress to try to survive and save itself. That's why it grows all funky like that. All our trees are doing it.
I actually have a little tree in my yard and it does that, but I thought you're supposed to just trim those because it's not supposed to do that.
Why is it doing it? We kind of have that same overcast, strange sun too.
Yeah. I wish I could grow some extra branches to get more sun. Because I ain't getting enough.
We pasty.
Yeah.
This guy couldn't believe his eyes. While waiting at a traffic light, he saw something that looked like a glitch in the Matrix. The streetlight kept flashing on and off, making the tree in front of him disappear and reappear like a real-life glitch. And he wasn't the only one stunned. Right in front of him, a truck driver had to pull over just to figure out what was happening. It was like they both stumbled into a real-life video game, just when you think you've seen it all.
What in tarnations is going on with that tree?
I have no explanation for that one at all. Like a strobe light, but trippy.
That's a glitch in the Matrix, my friends.
I think so.
Is anyone else getting allergies like way worse than before? Because I recently stumbled upon something very interesting. So there's a horticulturist named Thomas Ogren, and he found that many cities planted only male trees because they produce only pollen, so they're easier to maintain, versus female trees, which produce fruits and seeds. Problem is, without female trees to absorb all the pollen, it just lingers in the air.
He said that this practice started back from a guidance in the 1949 USDA Yearbook of Agriculture, which they recommended, quote, only male trees should be selected to avoid nuisance from the seed. Now, fast forward to today, scientists are saying urban landscaping is to blame for prolonged crippling allergy seasons. Now, this is not ideal for most people, but great for Big Pharma. Zyrtec, one of the most popular allergy medications, is experiencing a boom in sales. In fact, analysts are predicting that the total antihistamine market is projected to triple or almost triple in the next 10 years. And guess what Big Pharma wants to do to help cure us from our allergies? Plant more trees. Okay, a couple years ago, Zyrtec started partnering with a group called American Forests to support tree equity in 3 key cities: Phoenix, Detroit, and Washington, D.C. The result? Sky-high pollen levels in Phoenix, the Detroit metro area, and Washington, D.C. Now, are they doing this on purpose? Claiming so would be promoting a conspiracy, which, of course, we wouldn't want to do. But what I will say is that for-profit medicine will never be designed to cure illness, but rather only treat the symptoms in perpetuity.
This is terrible. And people, not a doctor, but people are popping these antihistamines all the time like it's candy.
I am.
And let me tell you, I used to take said medication all the time. And then in the summer, I'd get extremely overheated and ill. And one of the side effects is that you don't sweat. You get heat intolerance because you literally can't sweat. And I wasn't. It was the weirdest thing ever. And now, every time I sweat, I am so grateful. What a strange phenomena.
I'm so grateful. All I know is my allergies are off the charts, and without Flonase, I wouldn't make it. Not sponsored.
A nice thing that does help your sinuses is a nice hot cup of coffee.
Helps your sinuses?
Yeah. The caffeine, it constricts a little more of the blood vessels. So that's a nice little
tip for you.
Yeah, a little tip.
You can just be jittery all day, but you won't sneeze.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all, it's getting closer, y'all. So these people just lost the power, and as you can see, they came out to the street to see what's going on, and you won't believe the show that the sky is putting on. What is going on? And right now, I feel a lot of pressure in my first eye, all in my head, and my temple, in the back of my occipitals. Is anybody feeling like this, y'all? Look at this over here in Austria, y'all. This is magnificent. Like, what? If someone told me I'd be seeing this in my lifetime, I would have told them you'd be lying, because again, we haven't been seeing things like this. And the fact of the matter is that the scientists, who claim to know everything, they see this change and they're acting all nonchalant about this. Like, this is big changes that are coming to our plane. Now, check this out over here in the UK. Is it just me, or is this thing becoming warped? Right? Y'all see that? It looks warped. It looks compressed. And you can clearly see the ring now. What is going on here? Look at that, y'all. Here goes another picture over here. It looks compressed once again. This thing used to look like this. Y'all see how it's a perfect sphere? Y'all see that? It's a perfect sphere. And now it's looking like this. Look at that, y'all. And then you can clearly see this ring that's going around it. The Lord of the Rings, which we already know. This is Saturn. Saturn rules the age of Aquarius, y'all. That black sun out there. Y'all see that? Y'all see that, right? And Saturn comes with the rings. Saturn is the Lord of the Rings, man. The shift is here. I've been telling y'all. Nobody explained why this appeared out of the sky the other night, y'all. Like, what is this? Y'all see how magical the colors are? As to why the sun is looking like this in one place and then like this in another place. Like, what universe are we in, y'all? Look at that. This is in Ohio. This is in Ohio. But yes, y'all, again, things are going to get a lot more weirder. Let me know what you guys think about this video. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
We're all seeing weird things.
The skies are getting really weird. The way light reflects off the sky.
Could it be spraying? The weather mod? Or is it a combination of a shift and that? I don't know.
Or is it the conspiracy of the firmament?
Firmament?
Firmament. Firmament.
Got a motherfucking blue lake right here. How much would it take for you to drink that water? How much money?
Texas, what in the multiverse is going on here, y'all? I think I found the source of the blue rain, maybe, because this is what Texas saw just yesterday. And many people were seeing this eerie teal color in the sky, and it was so bright, right? There is this crop is flooded over here, and the color is reflecting off the flood that the crop has experienced. This is not no filter, y'all. Here comes another angle of it after it subsided a little bit. But the sky turned teal, clouds pitch black, and then tornadoes manifested out of this. In Texas experienced gold. Look at the incredible size of this hail ball that Texas experienced, y'all, throughout that whole eerie transaction with the universe, y'all. Look at this. And what else would you experience from that whole eerie atmosphere? Here goes another. So this looks like a giant blue sun in the atmosphere. Am I tripping now, y'all? Because that light looks so focused. It looks so focused. It's not lightning. It's not plasma or anything. That looks like a giant blue sphere in there, y'all. Am I tripping? If the sky ain't broken, it's trying to tell us a message because, you know, it's coming with these horsemen that they call natural weather. So let me know what you guys think about this video. Nonetheless, the shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
What's that? Oh, now it's raining blue in California as well? Not just Texas? Okay. Yeah, there's been several reports of people talking about how it's raining blue in California as well. One person talked about how they tested the water and apparently there was high doses of iron in this water. What? At first, this was believed to just be localized in Texas, but now there's quite a few people reporting this in California. And one person in California decided to try this water as well. Now, he didn't have the same effects as the person in Texas did with the hallucinations, but he said he did feel nauseous and a bit dizzy. Okay. And this was with a pretty small amount of water, just what he could get gathered in his hands. So, okay. This rain seems to be a bit terrifying, okay? Let's try to avoid the blue rain and let's try not to get attacked by it, okay? All right.
Anyone explain the blue water?
It seems multiple people are reporting blue rain coming down. Why does this sound so familiar? Ah, that's right. This is from a video I did last year.
This lady sent this picture from South Africa. You all know I covered the blob anomaly and South Africa's crazy weather. These blue jelly balls were raining on this lady's parents. I start to look into the jelly balls. Knowing it's not a craft project raining from the sky, I move on. I find that this is not the first time that blue jelly balls have been raining from the sky. This was 2012. I came across this. We could be drinking from water bottles made of these like gummy balls. Sounds charming? Let's move on. These jelly blue balls raining from the sky were made of sodium polyacrylate. It is not biodegradable and doesn't decompose quickly in nature, which is a little concerning if it's raining from the sky.
I go back to looking for anything that looks like a jelly blue ball, and I found this.
This is droplet mixing with a piezoelectric transducer. Piezoelectric transducers are a type of electroacoustic sound transducer that converts the electrical charges produced by some forms of solid material into energy. I ask AI, what does this have to do with my blue rainy jelly balls? Cloud seeding. While piezoelectric devices are not directly used for cloud seeding, they can contribute to the technology by helping control or monitor dispersal of the seeding materials.
Did you catch that? Sound can control the dispersal of cloud seeding materials. If blue jelly balls were hypothetically used in weather modification, maybe sound is involved.
But importantly, these hydrophilic polymers can absorb large amounts of water. Another message from South Africa about hearing a strange humming and sound pulsing. Well, guess what else has been heard in some of these freaky storms? What? Well, we know it's sound. From the comments, I quickly gathered that this sounds like an instrument called a shofar. Definitely very similar. Wrapping this journey that we've just been on, some experimental weather modification techniques involve ultrasonic devices, which may use piezoelectric transducers to create sound waves that can influence cloud formation and precipitation.
Obviously, this is all speculation, but clearly there is a correlation between sound waves, weather tech, and maybe blue stuff raining from the sky. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
That's our girl Glam. And if you haven't had a chance, we did interview her on our podcast. She's rad.
Amazing.
And as far as this blue rain, Texas, California, are you guys out there? What's going on?
Who drinks it?
Yeah, don't drink the blue water. What's wrong with you? Or whatever that is.
And it is interesting about the change in frequencies, because if any of you follow the Schumann, that has been wild all over the place.
We've got that coupled with man-made frequency manipulation, and it's a great time to be on Earth.
Can we just talk about the wind for a minute? Like, here in the northeast of the US, it's been constantly windy, like nonstop every single day, just windy. I don't know if it's just the East Coast that's happening too, or if it's the entire country. Like, what are you seeing where you're at? Because this constant everyday wind has just been horrible. Because the energies are off, the wind is blowing everything, everybody's acting different. There's something going on, but I just can't place my finger on what is happening. Like, we haven't experienced wind like this for as long as I can remember. And everybody that I'm talking to on a daily basis is saying the same thing. Like, they just can't get past, like, the wind. It's constant. What is happening? Are you seeing this in your part of the country? Is it just here in the Northeast? Like, what is happening?
It's really windy in New York. It's beyond any windy I've ever seen. I've been in my house for over 13 years. My trees are bent sideways. All it does is just blow.
And rain.
And rain. A lot of rain.
So I generally don't talk about conspiracy theories, on this at least. But something's happening in my area that I've got to talk to y'all about. I can't figure out if we're the people in the Midwest, some part of weird social experiment, or if the media is trying to get clickbait, because they are sensationalizing something in our area that I've never seen quite like this before. If you know anything about the Midwest, we're prone to tornadoes. But what you might not know is how we find out about them. They're generally not predicted, but right now, the media, newspaper, news channels, social media, for the last 5 days has been talking about tornadoes that are going to happen tomorrow. That doesn't happen. Also, what you need to know, and this is key, is us people in the Midwest don't usually know there's a tornado until the alarms go off, the sirens, or we'll step outside and you just feel it. If you know, you know. You're outside and you're like, oh, this is tornado weather. Or the sky turns a really weird color. It's like a dark yellow. We don't usually have, I shouldn't say usually, 5 days advance that there's going to be a tornado. That is key. That is very important to note. I've never received an email like this ever in my entire life, and I received one last week. Most of us are powered with gas and electric by Alliant Energy. And I was given an email, I'm sure tons of other people, about severe weather that's coming. And they told us what to do. I've never received an email from Alliant Energy like this. Everywhere we go, people are talking about it. At prom last night, the students were asking my husband, he's a teacher, are we gonna have school on Monday? And he's like, well, yeah. Why? Because of the tornadoes. That was never a conversation. I'm telling you, yes, if there was a blizzard, yes, the kids have talked about it. They're like, are we going to have school because of the snow coming? But a tornado?
I'm sure they'll claim, oh, technology advancements. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. They can't even predict our weather patterns, except for when they spray the skies. Then they know what's going to rain.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video yesterday of a guy who was commenting on the color of the sky and the color of the sun and how it's looking more and more like every day that it's going back to the color that it was in the 90s. Don't know, there is a plethora of people, and myself kind of included, that feel like things changed in like our space and in our sky and in our sun since the 1990s. As far as color and vibrancy and just an overall vibe of being outside has drastically changed. After I saw that video, I was sitting out back at my house when I got home, and I took some pictures of our sky. This is twilight. I suppose it was like 7, I think, or something. And it did just kind of have that late 90s feeling. In the rest of the video, he had actually talked a little bit about Bill Gates and how he was going to block the sun, or he did block the sun, but that never actually did happen because the plan to block the sun with all these dust particles in order to change the climate away from burning everybody up was very controversial, and they couldn't get it done. Not the only one who's thinking it, and neither is this guy in the video. There are actual articles that are being written that people in going into 2025 could start seeing the vibrancy and the color kind of come back to their life. The Aurora Borealis and how they're going to be more frequent here in 2025, easier to see, and a much more like exciting display. And scientifically speaking, not conspiracy speaking, okay, and I'm going to stay kind of out of political stand with this too, but scientifically speaking, they're saying it's due to the peak of the sun's 11th year cycle, which will lead to increased solar activity and electromagnetic emission. A lot of these articles are saying that the sun is kind of recycling back. I'm not going to get into too much of it further because I don't know that I even fully understand it, but apparently the sun runs in cycles and we are going to be cycling back to the way that things was before. Now, it's not just the sky either. For the last, I would say 15, maybe 20 years, we have kind of been in this dulled space of color. Millennial gray is on its way out. If you go anywhere on TikTok, people are putting up flowered wallpaper and they're painting their rooms all kinds of bright and elaborate colors. It's not just people's homes and it's not just fashion. The car industry is also going to be changing. According to Kelley Blue Book, there is a trend of people that are wanting more colorful cars here in 2025. Neotric yellow, molten magnetic metallic, and bright moss green. Been predicting that consumers will be ready now and in the next decade for color and move away from the all gray and beige.
Reason why the world is losing color. Remember when cars came in more shades than just bland? Back in the day, cars were like Skittles on wheels, bright reds, sunny yellows, and electric blues. Now, we're living in a sea of Tesla grays and beige sedans. Is it just a trend, or is there something deeper happening here? Imagine this, a world where vibrant colors slowly vanish, replaced by dull shades. It's not just about design choices, it's about vibes. Bright colors spark joy, creativity, even rebellion. Dull colors, they make us blend in, feel uninspired, easier to control. Think about it. What if this shift is a subtle way to lower our collective spirit? To make us more obedient, more beige.
That would kind of make sense as we've been trending more and more of getting rid of people's individuality, making everybody pretty much the same because, inclusivity, we want everybody the same. That was probably part of it, influenced into millennial grays and into beiges and into, there was a whole thing with the beige a long time ago here on TikTok. What if that was influenced because it was making people easier to control and easier to lose themselves and their individuality? But it seems like here in 2025, that's slowly going to start going back the other way, and it's probably going to go back the other way for quite a while. This isn't necessarily a political thing. I feel like this is just kind of a change back to the way that things were, but more advanced. I don't know, let me know what you think. Let me know what you're seeing. I love your faces. I'll see you later.
Down for the colors. Remember when Apple had those, everything was like clear and colorful.
Yeah.
Like your phones had color, the computers were all colorful and fun. So bring it back. Bring back creativity and get rid of all this bland.
And as far as the sun, we don't really see it here. It's always sprayed gray, and the one day a week, if that there's sun, they're spraying again. So we can't tell you if it looks like it did in the 90s. The 90s.
I do remember the 90s. I just remember real looking clouds. Clouds, like you could lay.
Fluffy clouds.
Yeah, and you'd see the
shapes.
Yeah, and it's not that anymore, which is sad. Jerry looks like that one face in that one picture from the clip earlier.
Jerry's horrifying, and if my child drew that, I'd be like, we got to get an exorcist.
How are the kids seeing Jerry and they're just like, this is Jerry.
It's my friend Jerry.
He's cool. That would terrify me as a child. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us again for more strange and unusual content. We appreciate all your comments and all your support. And if you want to check out our podcast, give us a listen. We've got tons more strange, unusual content down that way too. So until next time.